You're listening to My Comic Life on the My Comic Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to My Comic Life, folks. That's right, My Comic Life. We are your one-stop podcast for all things geek, nerd, movies, video games, television shows, pop culture. If you're into that, stop. You have found the podcast for you. I am your host, Sam I Am, and joining me each week in the My Comic Life studio, well, folks, he's the only person I know who failed the G.I. Joe entrance exam because he was too extreme. He was too ruthless. He was too efficient. He scared the hell out of the Joes. In fact, they said, why don't you go try out for the Mortal Kombat tournament instead, which is actually 4 doors down from the My Comic Life studio. So convenient. But Alex, say hello to the folks there, Alex.
Yeah, I was actually on my way to the Mortal Kombat tryouts when I had just gotten lost. I don't know what happened, but first and foremost, I would love to congratulate the insert Super Bowl winner here on an amazing game that they played. It was just like lights out, stellar, and amazing. I had it was a blast to watch. Sam, did you catch the big game?
I did. Even if my beloved New Orleans Saints are never in the Super Bowl, I still watch the game for the commercials and just to watch it for the game. So yes, I watched the Super Bowl from start to finish.
Absolutely, man. I thought it was a great game, but nonetheless, we are here in studio for you guys today. Have a little bit of a banger of a show for you guys. Sam, could you please take us right into it?
All right, starting off on the DC side of things. That's right, folks. You heard me. For once, we are not kicking things off on the Marvel side of things. We are getting things rolling on the DC side. DC has revealed a new 60-second trailer hyping up their 4 upcoming DCEU movies arriving in 2022. The sneak peek is called The World Needs Heroes and features footage from their 4 big movies: The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz; Black Adam, starring Dwayne Johnson and Pierce Brosnan; The Flash, starring Ezra Miller and Antje Trow and Michael Shannon; and the sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, with Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, and Yahya Abdul Mateen II. Now, we here at My Comic Life, we've covered the majority of these upcoming releases in previous shows. But Alex, can you rank each of these predictions according to like your level of hype? Like which one really blew you away the most, and which one you're just like, I'll maybe see that one on a Sunday if I care to.
We've already seen plenty of like clips and plenty of actual like footage and scenes from the Batman, so I understand why they didn't put anything new about that in there. But I'm still extremely hyped about watching that. I feel like Robert Pattinson is really going to knock it out of the park, and I'll watch damn near anything with Zoe Kravitz in it. Um, After watching the World Needs Heroes kind of presentation that they had, uh, definitely, definitely kind of hyped for Black Adam, especially after seeing a few of the scenes that they included in this presentation. But after you reading about who was in the Flash, I mean, you and I were talking, pre-show about how we didn't even know that Antje Tro and Michael Shannon were supposed to be in it. And if you guys don't know, Antje Tro, I can't remember her name. Sam like knew it right off the bat, but they were both in Man of Steel as General Zod. And Sam, please help me here.
She played Feora.
Okay, Feora, and that definitely is on my radar because she was one of the best parts of Man of Steel, as was Michael Shannon's General Zod. And the Aquaman, James Wan is an amazing director. He does action very well. I can't wait to see what he does, with a bigger budget and a little bit of, a better team behind him. So if I had to rank these, I would. Oh, this is gonna be tough because they were all really good. I would go um, Black Adam 1, uh, Flash, Batman, and then Aquaman. But that's not 1 through 4 is kind of, I can easily just re-rank them. Ask me tomorrow, and it'll be completely different. But what about you, Sam? Can you rank these? And are you after watching this, were you kind of hyped up even more?
Yeah, definitely getting more hyped, getting more of, those nerdy goosebumps, that you get when you see a really awesome and epic trailer. Can I rank them? Ah, man, like you, like this could change any day of the week. Man, it's gonna go with for me. It's gonna go the Batman just because like it's the closest one to coming out, and like I said, I'm getting really excited for this. Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz are so selling me on this movie. I can't wait for it. So yeah, the Batman first, Black Adam second. It was badass to see the JSA in action there, to see Pierce Brosnan holding the helmet of fate, and to see his Doctor Fate costume. That was awesome. And as always, it was just once again. I know I'm overusing this word. It was just awesome to see Dwayne the Rock Johnson as the Black Adam throwing down and showing off his power. It was just fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Batman first, Black Adam second. I'm gonna go with um, the Flash third, but that's only because Michael Keaton's gonna be in this Flash movie. Um, and then Aquaman fourth, but that's only because Aquaman is the furthest one out and the one that I've seen the least of. I love Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa, friend of the show. I loved the first Aquaman movie. It really blew me away. It's just that I've only seen like maybe a grand total of 5 seconds worth of footage for this upcoming Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, I mean like that's the only reason it's coming in last is just because I haven't seen enough of it yet to quite get fully hyped up for it. But I am excited about it coming out. So yeah, so I rank it Batman, Black Adam, Flash, and then Aquaman. But that could easily, I mean, the Flash and Aquaman could easily flip flop spots. I mean, by the end of this show, I could be like, no, wait, I've changed my mind. I mean, like that's how neck and neck. Like all these productions and movies are in my mind.
It's crazy
Um,
that the level of hype that they can drum up with just a short 60-second clip, man.
I know. Kudos to whoever cut that trailer for DC. But yeah, the trailer was very short, but there were a few clips that we the fans had not seen before. Which one stood out the most to you, Alex?
Oh, I think you already said, the Doctor Fate costume. Anything with the JSA actually was probably what stood out the most to me. Like I said, the Doctor Fate costume reveal, the Hawkman costume reveal, the I think his Atom Smasher is his name. His costume reveal. It was and Cyclone, of course, but it was definitely awesome to watch. And there's a lot of gold in this. There was a whole lot of gold. Everybody's wearing gold. I guess gold is in this year in 2022. So I gotta get me. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to head down to like Spencer's and pick up one of them gold shirts or something like that. But what about you, Sam? Which scene stood out the most to you?
Oh, I think you took the words right out of my mouth. We are on that whole Professor X Magneto same mindset thing here. Yeah, just seeing all the seeing the JSA and yes, seeing Atom Smasher grow and run through cars almost as if it was taken from the comic book panels and splashed right on screen there. That is always just amazing to see. Yeah, seeing Hawkman revealed, seeing get to flex his wings on the big screen. That was awesome. And again, yeah, like I already mentioned, just getting to see the helmet of fate and Pierce Brosnan as Doctor Fate. That was cool. And then I mean, a little shout out to the Flash there, like when the orange lenses kind of slid over his eyes before he took off. I thought that was kind of fun and cool. But I was hoping to see more Michael Keaton out of the Flash trailer. But I also understand why you're keeping that under wraps. Like that's your ace up your sleeve right there. So of course you're not going to quite show that yet. But yeah, no.
Yeah,
mainly,
that was a really big get for DC to get Keaton back, among many other gets. Like you were saying, that I know we were. I mean, I was dead ass serious. You might have been kidding, but I feel like Oded Fur still would have made a great Doctor Fate. But I mean, Pierce Brosnan is killing it, man. He killed it in this trailer, and the facial hair, the silver fox look, man. The man is just gonna like they. It's almost to the point where you feel like DC kind of fumbled the bag, where they could have came out with their own, like a Doctor Fate, an entire movie, and Pierce Brosnan would have been able to carry that flick. Do you feel the same?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, first of all, yes, I still believe Oded Fur would have made a really amazing, badass Doctor Fate. No joke there. I know we joke around a little bit, but we really do love Oded Fur here on My Comic Life and want to see him in more stuff. But yeah, no, he would have made a totally believable, totally awesome Doctor Fate. That being said, though, no, Pierce Brosnan is filling those shoes very well. He looks the role, he sounds the role. He looks great in the costume. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan looks amazing. And you're right. Again, we could have totally had just a standalone JSA film or a standalone, yes, Doctor Fate film. In fact, I hope if Black Adam does well enough, and there's enough, hype about the JSA characters that we might get a few spin-off films from this. And one of those, I would definitely want to be a Doctor Fate, and I would love to see a standalone Hawkman movie. But yeah, Pierce Brosnan is absolutely rocking it in that role, and just excited to see a character like Doctor Fate on the big screen there. Now, as we know, DC had a slow superhero year in 2021, only rolling out James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. But if you have been an avid listener of My Comic Life, you know that 2022 was going to be the big year for DC films, and this presentation has certainly left fans talking about what DC has to offer. Alex, do you think that this is the year DC will eclipse Marvel when it comes to big cinematic productions? Also, bear in mind, Marvel's 2022 releases are Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I I was kind of going back and forth about this in our pre-show, but I do think that DC will kind of definitely give Marvel a run for their money, if not totally eclipse them this year. And then the reason why I say that, not saying that Marvel's gonna that their quality or anything has gone down, but Marvel has been kind of focusing on the smaller screen and presenting stuff on Disney Plus, one and two. Uh, these these productions that DC is putting out this year, you've got the Batman, Black Adam, and the Flash, and the Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom. Three of those are IPs, man. These are your and only one of them is a sequel. So these are it's going to cast a kind of wider net, if you kind of get what I'm saying, to the audience, and you'll be able to, I mean, they're not going to have, they only have one of their big three, Batman. There's no Superman, there's no Wonder Woman, but I still feel like DC is definitely going to give Marvel a run for its money when it comes to the box office this year. What about you, Sam?
I definitely think DC will give Marvel a run for their money. I don't think they're going to totally eclipse them. They may equal them, but I don't think they're going to eclipse them, especially after seeing that Doctor Strange trailer drop during the Super Bowl. Yeah, that one really kind of took the wind out of DC's sails. Plus, you have Taika Waititi returning for Thor: Love and Thunder, and he made Thor Ragnarok, and he's like a large reason why that movie just dominated at the box office. And again, you have another
Yeah.
strong contender here with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. But I do think, I mean, based off these trailers, man, if they're as good, I mean, if these DC films are as good as what these trailers are showing, they will at least equal Marvel this year, and that makes things very exciting, I think, for comic book fans. Yeah, starting out with Batman, following up with Black Adam, and then getting the Flash and Aquaman. Plus, I think what is that, like a 4-3 ratio there? Like with DC releasing four and Marvel only releasing three, you're going to get one extra DC film this year. But yeah, no, Marvel has a well-established cinematic universe. DC's still kind of struggling out of the gate a little bit. But I'm really rooting for DC this year. I hope they do well. I hope all these films are uh, critically well received, fan well received, and turn out to be big box office hits for them. Because I would love for 2022 to be the year that DC really finds its footing and launches itself. So fingers crossed there. The Batman releases first on March 4th. Black Adam, sorry, follows July 29th. The Flash is set for a November 4th release, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is slated to hit theaters December 16th. Keep tuning in each week for any updates to all things DC related as we navigate through a jam-packed 2022. Alex, any final words there on the DC releases coming out?
No, I'm kind of like you. You said earlier that you wish that they had given us a little bit more of the Aquaman because it was kind of like not necessarily a sleeper hit, but it was a very pleasant surprise I mean, James Wan, Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, even Yaya, they all did a fantastic job with that first one. So I really can't wait. I'm hoping that, especially with the rise in popularity from Yahya Abdul-Mateen, because he was, I think he was Morpheus in that new Matrix. He was Candyman, and he's, a very talented actor. And I hope that they give him much more screen time with this second one because his Black Manta was awesome.
All right. Well, moving from DC side of things, good news, everybody. The return of Futurama. That's right, Futurama just won't die. Matt Groening's animated science fiction sitcom was canceled by Fox after 4 seasons in 2001, only to be revived by Comedy Central in 2007. The cartoon ran for 3 more seasons on the cable network before being canceled again in 2013. The show's cast and creators have always expressed an interest in continuing the series on another network, but optimism about finding another suitor waned in the 8 years following its cancellation. However, Futurama fans had their patience rewarded this week as Hulu announced it had ordered a 20-episode revival of the cult show. Alex, are you a fan of Futurama? And if so, who is your favorite character on this show?
I'm a huge fan of Futurama. Like I am probably one of the biggest fans of Futurama that certainly that I know. Um, I mean I watch the show almost every night. When I come home from work, it's like 2 a.m. I lay in bed, I throw on an episode of Futurama, and I fall asleep to it every single night. I'm pretty sure that Hulu looked at there are people like me out there where Hulu looked at our streaming kind of activities and was like, oh wow, there's this one household in Oklahoma that is keeping Futurama alive. Maybe we should just throw him a bone after 20 years to get him some new episodes because he keeps watching the same ones over and over again. So, I'm a huge Futurama fan. My favorite character on the show, I'm kind of a Hermes fan. I think he's pretty funny because he's kind of lame, and also there are your normal fans that you're really gonna love, but I think the number one favorite character for me has got to be Zap Brannigan. He just chews up the scenery, and he's a larger than life character, and he's great anytime. And those are the episodes that I kind of watch over and over and over again are the ones with him in them. But what about you, Sam? Are you a Futurama fan, and do you have any favorite characters?
I'm not quite the hardcore Futurama fan you are. I mean, I am a big fan of Futurama. Love the show. I've seen all the episodes. I've even bought their spin-off movies. I especially liked the Bender's Game, the D&D inspired Futurama movie. That one was really a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Cannot say I fall asleep on Hulu fall asleep every night on Hulu watching Futurama. I do fall asleep every night to a Hulu show, but mine is Frasier. I fall asleep every night watching Frasier
Nice.
on Hulu. But Futurama, man, I may have to switch shows for a little variety. Um, Favorite characters, man, you and I are just really like in sync tonight. Like we should go buy lottery tickets after the show for how scary in sync we are. My favorite characters, it's a tie between Fry and Hermes, man. I love Fry and Hermes, and like all the hardcore Fry centric or Hermes centric episodes always really make me laugh and really crack me up. Um, so I'm gonna bounce this question to you since you're like the really hardcore Futurama fan here, Alex. I'm gonna give you this question first. Do you have any favorite episodes, and do you have any least favorite episodes?
Like I said, my favorite, the one episode that I put on, I've probably seen it over at least over 100 times, is the Amazon Women in the Mood, when Zap Brannigan and Kip go on a date with Amy and Leela, and they end up, Zap Brannigan ends up like piloting the restaurant, because the restaurant's on a ship, and they crash it into this Amazon planet, and Fry and Bender come and try and rescue him, but they all end up getting kind of taken prisoner by these Amazonian women who are massive, and they're all huge, and that's where the
Death
whole
by Snoo Snoo.
death by Snoo Snoo comes from. So that episode I'll put on all the time, just because like the back and forth between Zap Brannigan and Kif is all like, that to me is just, it's almost like a lullaby. Like I'll be asleep by the time by the time Death by Snoo Snoo starts happening. Um, my least favorite episode, I'm sorry, man, they got to be the I can't stand Fry sometimes, man. I feel like he
What?
just kills the show dead sometimes, bro. I cannot stand it.
Oh,
Like the one with his dog, that one,
what?
he gets everybody crying and stuff. Like I can't, like I'm not here to watch that, dude. And then the
Oh
other
my
one where
gosh!
yeah, I'm here to break some hearts today, man. You better saddle in. You know, we're
Wow!
all adults here. I'm gonna do it. The one with where he's the entire episode he's trying to have some time with his mother, and in I think his memories is what he goes in to do it. I can't stand that one either, because I just be like, man, this is, I don't know. I just feel like he sucks all the fun out of the show. Now, when he's just being like regular Fry, like with a probably some kind of like mental deficiency, like that's the funny guy. But when he's actually trying to do stuff, I don't know. For me, it's just not there, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's
Wow!
probably my least favorite episodes are those two that are very Fry centric.
All right, man, that's harsh. All right,
We're
wow. Like
not we're not
I'm
going to get
literally
those.
sitting here like in shock, man. Like totally stunned into silence.
We're not going
Um.
to go get those lottery tickets anymore, huh?
Oh man, no, we just totally fell out of sync, man. Our numbers would be radically well. Actually, our numbers wouldn't be that far off. Because my favorite episodes, yes, let's just go number. And this isn't like like in any certain order, but I'm just going to throw them out there. Um, Death by Snoo Snoo. Yes, that is an iconic and hilarious episode that cracks me up every time I watch it. Um, there's another one where it's like I think they get like $100 tax return, or they get their tax return, and Fry spends his on drinking, trying to drink 100 cups of coffee in
Yeah.
a day. And look, coming from a guy who gets a venti coffee in the morning and then comes home from work and makes a 4 cup pot of coffee because it relaxes him after work, I really relate to that episode. And when Fry has that 100th cup of coffee and he hits like some higher plane of existence or some higher plane of nirvana, and he's able to save everybody from a burning building that he's in. Oh my gosh, that cracks me up. And yes, I was gonna say the dog episode is my favorite episode. It's so heart wrenching and sad.
Oh
His
God,
dog waits for him.
it's
Oh
so
my
lame.
gosh. Uh, um, and then I know there's so many more, but the other ones that stand out to me uh, is when Fry, Leela, and Bender they find some zit cream or some cream or paste and they rub it on themselves and they become superheroes.
Yeah.
Um, loved that episode. That was just a fun episode with a catchy theme song to it. Least favorite episodes. I don't really know if I have like any like least or like really bad episodes of Futurama. I would have to go back, and in fact I am now going to have to go back and watch it because least favorite episodes, none are really coming to mind. I just keep thinking of all the funny and fun episodes where it's where they have to recreate the show Ally McBeal, or else Earth gets destroyed by the
Omicrons.
Omicronians. Yes, yes, by the Omicrons and stuff like that. Yeah, and this is just bringing up all the fun episodes that I like to watch, or the one where Bender has to save Christmas and everybody's afraid of Santa, and Bender keeps going down chimneys to give people gifts, and he keeps getting greeted by like flamethrowers and laser guns and Santa traps, and he's setting them all off. Yeah, those are just like I said,
There's a lot
favorite.
of really good ones out there, and I think you should definitely go back and watch them because there's it's a kind of show that will appeal to everyone, and anybody can find at least someone that they kind of that they like and that they find funny with while watching the show. But however, this news with the Hulu picking them up for a 20 episode revival does not come without a price, right, Sam?
Yeah, there is a caveat to this, or some sad news for us hardcore Futurama fans, and that's right, I'm just including myself with you guys. um, while the news of a Futurama revival coming to Hulu may entice fans of the adult animated series, there's one name that's curiously missing from the call sheet. John DiMaggio, who voiced Bender on the original show, in addition to various other characters, is not presently returning, with Billy West, who voices Fry, Zoidberg, and Professor Farnsworth, Katie Seagal, who voices Leela, Tress McNeil, who does Linda Van Schooven, or Hooven, um, Maurice LaMarche, who does Morbo, Lauren Tom, who does Amy, Phil Lamar, who does Hermes, and David Herman, who does Scruffy. Um, Sources close to the situation have said negotiations with DiMaggio have hit a standstill, which has prompted Hulu and 20th Century Television Animation to search for another voice actor, with the first table read looming this Monday. Though both sides of the situation, DiMaggio's side and the studio side, want the actor to return. Um, Alex, if negotiations should fail, the studio wants to press on for a search for a new Bender. Should they find a new Bender, or should they find a way to write the character out of the show?
Nah, man, you got to pay that dude his money. You got to pay him whatever he's asking. But then again, I'm a hardcore fan, so if I'm doing devil's advocate and I'm thinking about it from the studio side, and what would I like for them to do? Would I rather them get a new voice actor, um, or just write him out completely? You can't. I don't know. You can't really have a this kind of show going without a character like Bender, and I would hate for them to kind of replace Bender. You get some. That's when you get into I mean, on The Simpsons they had Poochie. That's when you get into Poochie territory. So, uh, if all else fails, I if it's only between those two, I would rather them figure out a way to write Bender out of the show personally. So that's you're kind of really twisting my arm on making me have a decision on either of those. But what do you think they should do? Do you think they should search for a new Bender, or should they find a way to write him out of the show?
Oh, man, I mean, to me, I mean, come on, man. John DiMaggio is Bender. Like, I mean, like I can hear the man's voice in my head. It's almost, you know, iconic, if you will. Man, I would hate to see Futurama without Bender, but if you can't get John DiMaggio to do it, I'd almost write the character out of the show. I mean, I don't see how you could do this show without Bender. He's such an integral part. I mean, I guess you could introduce another robot, possibly, like, hey, Bender burned up in the sun, or Bender's off on a bender,
Flexo.
and yeah, yeah, yeah. Excuse me there. But yeah, like Bender 2.0, but I mean, I doubt the fans would accept it. I'm even getting like a little like angry, I'm feeling some anger in me, even just spitting out the idea of like just putting in a new robot character to fill Bender's shoes, man. I just really can't imagine it. No, man, you just have to ride him out. But Alex, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I mean, we all want original voice actors to reprise their beloved roles, But I mean, it is inevitable that there will come a time when a voice actor and a production part ways. Uh, if this is the case with Futurama and DiMaggio, um, and I mean, like you just had to find somebody to fill those shoes. Who would you want to see fill those shoes, Alex?
Oh, that's easy, man. You know the answer to this question
You
easily.
can't tell me it's Oded Fur. You want
Of
Oded Fur
course,
to
it's
play
Oded Fur, man.
that?
Absolutely, I want Oded Fur to play Bender. The
Oh
man can
my
play
gosh.
anything, dude. The man could read me the dictionary, and I'm gonna go ahead. You know that sultry voice. No, but and friend of the show, Oded Fur, please come on the show, man. We love you. We love you to death. However, if I wanted to be realistic about this, oh man, I just without DiMaggio, so I was looking pre-show. I was looking up like because John DiMaggio has done voice acting work for several years. I think multiple decades now. He is Marcus Phoenix in the Gears of War, and he plays I don't know who on Adventure Time. That's not a show that I watched, but I am familiar with the character, the little orange dog. But I was trying to find somebody who would maybe like if there was a Gears of War 5 and they had gotten somebody else to do Marcus Phoenix's voice, but no, it's still John DiMaggio. So if they could find a way to pay this man, then you damn well Hulu needs to too. But if I had to pick somebody, I'd pick you, Sam. You're a pretty good voice actor, man. I've heard some of your
Aw.
work, dude. You could definitely do it. Your Scruffy was on point, man. You could do a Bender. How you think you got a Bender in there, brother?
Oh man, I've never tried. I will work on a bender. Wow, man. Oh,
I think for our 100th show, man, we're gonna have the debut of Sam's Bender voice.
oh my gosh. Okay, I'll freaking get to work on that one. Wow, I'm touched,
But
man.
I digress though. But who would you pick to fill the shoes of Bender Bending
Oh
Rodriguez?
man. You're gonna call me crazy on on this one. Mark Hamill, man. Why not let Mark Hamill be loud and rude and in your face and obtrusive? Why not, man? Let fucking Mark Hamill voice him. Mark Hamill or Nolan North, who is Drake in all the Uncharted video games and is I know voiced several other characters, but to me he will always be Drake. Yeah, let let Nolan North or Mark Hamill or you're gonna laugh at my third choice here, but I'm still gonna throw him out here because I love this guy. Christian Slater. Let Christian Slater come in and
That's a good one, actually.
totally voice Bender. Any of those guys, any of those guys, would definitely, definitely. I mean, it would have to be that level or that caliber for me to even begin to be okay with somebody stepping into Bender's shoes. But even then, I would want Mark, Nolan, or Christian to voice like Bender 2.0, not the original Bender, but just like a different robot that the professor unboxes in the lab to take Bender's place for some reason. Yeah, but no, if you can make it work and get DiMaggio back as Bender. Speaking of, yeah, the idea of Futurama returning without DiMaggio quickly enraged the show's very passionate online fan base, with many fans using the social media to demand that Hulu pay the voice actor enough to return. The hashtag Bendergate quickly began trending on Twitter, and DiMaggio himself used his account to encourage supporters. Now, while the situation might currently seem tense, mutual interest and rabid fan demand make DiMaggio's return seem very likely. The Futurama revival is set to begin production this month ahead of a 2023 release. Do you think online antics like this, like hashtag the Bendergate, help the situation between the studio and DiMaggio, or do they hurt it?
I think that he's not doing himself any kind of favors with this one. He should just kind of let his people talk with their people and make sure that they can get together. And for the fans, that's what they need to do. They need to think about the fans, and because eventually, somebody's going to break. And I'm hoping that it is the studio, and I really think it is going to be the studio because the like you said, the fan base is extremely passionate. So, um, but I just feel like he needs to kind of just let the higher ups kind of hash this one out. What about you, Sam?
Oh no, I agree. I agree. I don't think necessarily get it. I mean, let the fans speak for you, but I'm not sure getting on Twitter and voicing this is going to help your situation anymore. Like I said, let the fans speak for you. The fans are out there, and obviously, Hulu wants this show to be a hit, or else they wouldn't be, putting it back on air, putting so much money into it. I think they will. Fingers crossed. Reach an agreement with DiMaggio, but don't end up shooting yourself in the foot. By like going on social media and saying something that's going to like offend or upset Hulu and like really make them dig their feet in on not bringing you back to the show. Yeah, so definitely, like I said, let there be fan petitions. Let there be hashtags. But you just stay behind the scenes and just keep working as hard as you can to negotiate with the studio. Any final words on Futurama's return, Alex?
I don't think that the show can exist without Bender, because he's in every episode, and he's one of we were just talking about with DC, the big three. He's part of that big three where it's Fry, Leela, and Bender. So they definitely need to get something going, and hopefully by the table read on Monday, you'll see John DiMaggio rolling up in his gold Bentley or whatever it is they're going to have to give him.
All right, I could not have said it better myself, man. Yes, bring back DiMaggio. And stay tuned to My Comic Life, and we'll make sure to keep you updated on this story and any other Futurama-related content as it happens. All right, folks, getting back from the future, we're going to take a stroll on down the block here to the Comics Corner. That's right. You guys keep writing us about reviewing comics, and we are a show of the fans, so we are going to give you more Comics Corners. First up on Comics Corner is Iron Fist #1, written by the talented and award-winning Alyssa Wong, who has done Dr. Aphra and the Extreme Carnage series, and this is being drawn with art by Marvel newcomer Michael Weige. Who is the new Iron Fist? After giving up his power to save the world, Danny Rand believes he's seen the last of the Iron Fist. But when demons begin to attack cities around the world, a mysterious newcomer in a familiar mask appears, hands blazing with the chi of Shao Lao the Undying. And who is the new Iron Fist? And does his power really come from the Dragon of Kunlun? Or from something far more sinister? This debut of a 5-issue limited series will see the legendary mantle of the Iron Fist passed on to a new hero. Alex, what do you think of Danny Rand passing the torch, and will this be a day one Wednesday pickup for you?
I am kind of have mixed feelings on this. I think that this in particular is a really good idea with Danny Rand kind of handing off the reins to someone else, but I just feel like it's kind of been done to death at this point in comic books, not just with Marvel and not just recently, but they have done it, a lot recently. But they're constantly kind of having these storylines where the main character will kind of hand off their power or hand off their responsibility and stuff to a younger and kind of more hip character, only to in the end actually just get the power back and have it retconned or whatever it is. They do it all the time. So unless it's gonna stay unless it's gonna stick or something, to me it's just kind of almost like a gimmick at this point. But I am interested in this particular one because I don't know a ton about Iron Fist. I only watched a couple of the episodes that were on the Netflix show, but I will I be picking this one up day one? I might pick up the first issue just to kind of read about it and see what they have. I mean, I saw a couple of the art stills that they had, and it looked really cool. The art by Michael Weige looks amazing, and he's definitely somebody I'm gonna be keeping up with. And Alyssa Wong, an extremely talented writer. I actually have like every single issue of Dr. Aphra, and it's an amazing Star Wars book. But yeah, I think I'll pick up number one and read through it and see if I like it. And who knows? This one I might pick up all five, and this might be something that they end up kind of keep rolling with when all is said and done. But what about you, Sam? I know you're kind of a semi Iron Fist fan. You have seen the entire Netflix show. What do you think going into this?
I'm always a little weary of the passing of the torch. Much like when the Doctor Who mantle changes to like a new actor. I'm always a little weary. I'm always like, do I really want this to happen? But then usually I end up liking the new person, and I strongly suspect this will happen when I meet the new Iron Fist. I mean, Danny Rand has been a really long tenured Iron Fist, so I mean, I understand about passing the torch. Like you though, I once again totally am agreeing with you. It's becoming a little bit of a tired and worn out method, of like, oh, hey, let's have this hero, or like let's bring back this hero's name, like let's bring back Iron Fist, or like the Black Knight on like the Marvel side of things. But let's have somebody else play this person. Um, and let's just have them pass on the torch to somebody else. You know what? Sometimes it's okay if the person who originated this power or this superhero name sticks with it. Like it's okay. Sometimes just to bring back the original person. Because yeah, I agree, Alex. This idea or this trait coming up in comics, it's starting to get a little thin with me. But that being said, no, I am excited to see who the new Iron Fist is. And if the artwork, looks as good as it did on these kind of preview panels, like you, I will pick up the first issue. I can't guarantee you that I'm going to get like all five. That will really just depend, like I said, on the writing and the art. But yeah, I'm a big enough Iron Fist fan that I would definitely check this out. And you can check it out too because Iron Fist #1 releases February 16th. All right, moving from the Iron Fist side of things over to, I don't even know how to intro this, so I'm just going to say it. G.I. Joe, a real American hero, Saturday morning adventures #1. Man, that is a mouthful. G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. Well, I mean, come on, you guys know the story by now. But now Cobra might have found their most versatile weapon yet. Can even G.I. Joe stop the Aladdin initiative? Find out in this special Saturday morning send up based on the 1980s cartoon and brought to you by the superstar creative team of Eric Burnham and Dan Showing, who have also done Transformers, Ghostbusters, and TMNT comics as well. Wow. All right, this team looks like it has the pedigree to take fans back to the cereal bowl and pajama-filled Saturday mornings of the 1990s. What do you think of companies tugging at the heartstrings of us millennials, Alex?
So, I am totally here for it. I, looking at especially the cover art, the art is certainly on point with the classic cartoon. I mean, when you look at it, you're going to be instantly transformed back to your mom and dad's living room, and just have a big old bowl of cereal, nice warm set of jammies on, blankets draped over you, just glued to that screen early Saturday morning watching G.I. Joe. This creative team, very talented, like you said, they've done Transformers, Ghostbusters, TMNT. They did, I want to say, they did Back to the Future. They've done so much stuff from back in our childhood that I trust them wholeheartedly with the property, and I think that they're going to do an amazing job with the many GI Joe has like something like 30 or 40 characters, something like that, and so I definitely feel like this is a win for us millennials. Am I going to be picking this one up? I I will. However, I'm going to be picking it up for my kids. I want them to read through it because I kind of want them to be familiar with, you know, um, with things that were from my childhood. So definitely, uh, definitely hit it out of the park by tugging at the heartstrings of us millennials. But what do you feel about this tactic, Sam? And is this an issue that is on your radar?
It wasn't on my radar until you brought it to my attention. Um, yeah, sure, why not, man? If these guys have been doing so well with the Transformers, Ghostbusters, and the TMNT comics, yes, I will. I'll give this one a shot. I'll at least pick up the first issue. I mean, I will thumb through it at least just to just to see what it looks like at my local comic book shop. If it grabs my attention, yeah, sure, I will give it a shot. Well, why not? Um, yeah, definitely. I mean, plus it's GI Joe, and like you said, they have a very fun and diverse and colorful roster of characters, and it's always cool, to see those guys in any iteration, whether it's print or TV or movies. I've always been a GI Joe fan, and I will definitely, probably pick up this first
Do you
issue.
have a favorite Joe?
Oh man, do I have a favorite? I think in a previous episode we did count down our favorite Joe. Uh, I'm gonna butcher names here. I always liked, of course, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, um, and oh my gosh, the Navy one, and I'm totally blanking on
Shore
his name.
leave.
Shore Leave, yes, those were probably, and also Sergeant Slaughter, definitely.
Oh man, Sergeant
Yeah.
Slaughter he was lit, man. I
Did you
love Sergeant Slaughter.
do you have any favorite Joes off the top of your head, or any that you would like to see listed in this comic, Alex?
Definitely Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. Scarlet was great. Duke, of course. Probably who was the was he the junkyard dog guy? Or I can't remember his name, but he was really prominent in the movie. He was the one that carried around Cobra Commander when he was transforming into
Oh
the
yeah,
snake. But and if you guys listening, if you have a favorite Joe, man, please let us know down in the comments, man, because I would love to talk, GI Joes and any classic cartoon with you guys. If you guys want to have a discussion, please let us know down in the comments.
definitely. All right, folks, this wraps up another great episode of My Comic Life. As always, we sincerely appreciate you listening. Please continue to like our Facebook page. Get your friends, get your family, get your coworkers, get whoever to like our Facebook page. We also have a YouTube channel. You can listen to our show there. Just search My Comic Life on YouTube and look for that oh so fabulous, oh so awesome, oh so amazing My Comic Life logo, and just click that subscribe button. Like I said, we publish our shows there as well, and you can listen. We are up to a grand total of 23 subscribers, Alex. 23. We are over that hump of 20. We are slowly but surely growing there. So we
You got that
appreciate.
Jordan number.
Yeah, man, got that Jordan number to that magical 23. And again, get your friends, get your family, get your coworkers to like our YouTube channel. It's a really, it's just a simple click and subscribe, and it really means a lot to us, and it really helps grow the show. Like
Absolutely, and
Alex,
don't forget to tap that little bell so that way
yes.
you can get notifications anytime that we actually have a premiere on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and like Alex was just saying, if you want to hear us talk more about G.I. Joe, or more about video games, or more about Star Wars, email us your show ideas at realmycomiclife@gmail.com. And that is all one word, folks. And again, that email address is realmycomiclife@gmail.com. And it has come to that time in the show where we shout out our My Comic Life fan of the week. Our My Comic Life fan of the week is Trisha Jones from St. Augustine, Florida. Thank you so much, Trisha, for listening, liking, and subscribing, and emailing us your thoughts on the show. Trisha Jones from St. Augustine, Florida. You are our My Comic Life fan of the week. Salute to you, Trisha.
Salute to you, Trisha. I need you to do me a favor. Send in your idea for our third segment in the future shows.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Alex, yes. As you know, we usually devote our third segment to a TV show review. We did take a straw poll this week, and coming up next week, we are going to start reviewing Peacemaker. We wanted to give you, the fans, time to, pretty much watch the entire series. I think it's almost all out on HBO Max. But yeah, we will be talking Peacemaker next week, so stay tuned for that. Man, Kevin Smith, I'm sorry. Apologies again to Kevin Smith. We just ran out of time. We especially wanted to have you on this week to talk about your Oscar controversy, man. I think people are blowing that. Yeah, I know. I personally think people are blowing that way out of proportion. I fully support your statement there, or we at My Comic Life fully support your statement there. Again, apologies to Kevin Smith. We just ran out of time. We'll try to get you on next week. But hey, like I said, folks, that wraps up this episode. So as always, ditch the herd, be a nerd, stay strong out there, my friends.